Making legal history, Senior Sergeant Chris Hurley made his final walk from the Townsville Supreme Court a free man.
And for that, there's a great sense of relief. There will, however, be no celebrations. There are no winners.
After just 3 hours, the jury found him not guilty of the manslaughter and assault of Mulroney Doomadgee in the Palm Island Watch House 3 years ago.
This death has caused immeasurable grief to the family and to the community, and we all know of what has happened since then.
The family of Mulroney is shattered.
I can't believe it, even though we know, but we had better hope, had to put faith in the system, and now we can live in our own country under this.
A four-wheel drive is the only way into this street.
It was over top of my tyres, so yeah, she's deep.
In this area alone, around Petrie, at least 65 roads have been closed, many more are flooded. Authorities are warning drivers not to take any chances. Touching down in Brisbane for touch-and-go surgery. A convoy of ambulance vehicles were waiting at the Brisbane airport when the 6 most seriously injured asylum seekers landed in Queensland.
Any patient who has severe burns to the extent that these people have had are at the risk of dying.
Queensland Health admits ensuring all passengers stay in isolation will be difficult to police, but it's trusting they'll do what's required to minimise the threat. To give you an idea of just how much sand has been dumped on Kira Beach, behind me here used to be a rock wall known as Little Groin. Now it looks more like a desert. But there was a cap on the Aussie spirit inside Centre Court. Fans were banned from waving national flags or placards inside the arena.
Dr Jan Patel is charged with manslaughter in the deaths of 3 patients at a rural hospital. Well, the Seven Network's Tracy Moran has been following this story from the very beginning and joins me now on the line from Brisbane. Tracy, thanks so much for joining us. This is a huge story in Australia. The families of the victims have been seeking justice for the deaths of their loved ones for many years. For those of our viewers not familiar with the story, give us some background.
Sure, it's more than 4 years after the director of surgery at the Bundaberg Hospital left the country and went back to the US. Now, he operated on a number of patients here. In one instance, he actually left that patient on the operating table, failed to stop the bleeding, then left to perform elective surgery on another patient.
And reporter Tracy Moran has the latest.
Sam, Jan Patel's committal hearing was due to continue for another 2 weeks here in Brisbane, but today the magistrate ruled there was enough evidence to commit him to stand trial on all charges.
Shocked and angry, hundreds of workers ran into the Riviera workshop after hearing one of the Gold Coast's biggest employers has gone into receivership.
Getting our tools, getting what we can to get out of there, eh? Yeah, we're just getting all our stuff out before they lock it up.
Many staff returned from a forced 4-week holiday, only to learn they may not have a job to come back to.
Everything was supposed to be good, and we've heard that for the last 4 weeks until now.
Got a family I've got to support, so yeah, look, that's tough.
Peter White has been working at Riviera for 2.5 years, but the first he knew of the trouble was when he saw co-workers flooding out the gate.
We called up a boss and he said, yeah, so you get your stuff and get out of here.
By lunchtime, the gates were locked, and the receivers weren't letting anyone in or out. The company used to be Australia's largest boat builder, but it's been hit hard by the global recession. Riviera has sacked hundreds of workers since April last year, but staff believe in the company and want it to stay afloat.
We've sort of got to hope that maybe the government might come to the party.
Riviera is traditionally the Sanctuary Cove Boat Show's biggest client. This year, a record number of boats are expected to go on sale to help recover some of the company's losses. Riviera didn't return our calls today. The receivers can't confirm how many jobs will be lost, but say the company will be restructured and will continue to trade. On the Gold Coast, Tracy Moran, 7 News. Bandaged and burned after a night they'll never forget. 6 teenagers were badly injured when a bonfire exploded during a party on this Stanthorpe property.
We went to the hospital after it all happened, and there was probably about 30 or 40 kids there.
Police say 3 large drums of paint thinners were thrown onto the fire.
It was like a bomb going off, a quick blast.
18-year-old Jed Benossi is clinging to life in the Royal Brisbane Hospital with burns to 60% of his body.
Really young kid and didn't think it happened. 4
others are seriously injured but stable. Curtis Allen's cousin is one of them.
They're going to check her over and see if she needs skin grafts.
This 18-year-old girl suffered burns to her arms, legs, back and face in what she told paramedics was a fireball.
She remembered the flame and the explosion, and after that, she doesn't really know what happened to her.
Friends who were at the party say they're traumatised by what happened here last night. News of the accident has shattered the tight-knit community.
It's just something that shouldn't have happened.
Partygoers are refusing to tell police who threw the fuel onto the fire. An investigation is underway.
It's a stupid act on someone's part that has caused so much harm and pain.
In Stanthorpe, Tracy Moran, 7 News. Workers at Moreton Island's largest camp, Eagers Creek, have made the most progress.
Righto guys, let's go.
They've cleared more than 800 metres of oil in the past 24 hours, filling more than 2,000 sandbags.
You don't realise until you get down there exactly how much oil is there.
But there's still so much to do.
We will work through it until the oil's off the beaches.
Clean-up crews have reached the thickest oil and progress has slowed.
Despite the hot and hard conditions, the clean-up effort is something the workers want to do, and they're being spurred on by a healthy level of competition.
They compete on terms of how much they've done a day, and they love to understand how much they've done.
They're actually asking us if there's any alternative accommodation that they could actually possibly stay here to keep working.
This sea turtle was rescued from Eagers Creek this morning.
Oh.
Another pelican with toxic oil on its wings and tail feathers was found at Tangalooma.
Any animal in distress, it's really sort of upsetting.
Testing on the first seafood samples from the disaster area has found no trace of oil. Results from a larger sample will be released next week. On Moreton Island, Tracy Moran, 7 News.